So with the COVID-19 pandemic keeping us at a distance, we've spent most of our time in front of screens and monitors. How can we help our children make the transition when they eventually get back into the physical classroom, which I'm hearing will be pretty soon, early next month, at least about the middle of next month. Licensed Associate Clinical Psychologist with Caribbean Tots to Teens, Chad Lambert, is here to share his expertise. Morning, Chad. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. How are you?
Hi, morning. I'm good. How are you doing?
Can't complain. Give thanks. So about how much time right now do you think, because I suspect that most households would be a little bit different, but about how much time right now you think the youngsters would be spending in front of screens / monitors?
It's especially with the dependence on technology, it really can go upwards to between 7 to 9 hours, um, which is far greater than what the recommended time used to be, which is 2 hours is usually the recommended time. But now that the focus is gearing away from a set time and now focusing on how you moderate the use per child.
Yep. So 2 hours is the recommended time.
Right. Used to be the recommended time.
Yeah, and now you're talking like all day, 8, 9 hours you're talking about. Wow, that's not good at all for the youngsters, for their eyes and for even their posture and stuff like that, is it?
No, as you said, posture made me think about my own too. But yes, when we're on for such an experience, such an extended amount of time, it really can have adverse effects. Just as you mentioned with the eyes or with the bad posture, it can also affect sleeping and eating patterns and just overall the dependence of being online and in front of a screen can take away from the creativity of them doing other things for fun.
Yeah. As I said, face-to-face should start in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I think they said the middle of September. So what are you suggesting to the parents? What would they start doing? When do they start doing it? Or maybe they should have started already, don't?
Well, yeah, it would have been beneficial if they started now, but they can also start as soon as possible. It's important to encourage open communication with your kids. So you want to speak to them about the benefits of technology and screen time, but also the adverse effects. And then you want to introduce to them that it is important for them to balance out their time, so to create structure or routine to help them get back into the 9 to 5, so to speak, of being a student.
Yeah. Some folks who we've interviewed here, and we've been doing Zoom interviews forever, it seems, and some folks say they're fine with online classes. They actually prefer that than going to school. Others, no. Does the screen time, is it supposed to be different depending on your age?
It can be. So especially toddlers and babies aren't recommended to be exposed to much screen time. They would recommend about an hour. As you get older, though, you would expect that screen time would increase because there would be more productive reasons to be online. So the older students and teenagers are expected to be online more. But again, you don't want to foster this dependence of online usage. You want to be able to have them enjoy the benefits of technology, but also be aware that there are other avenues for pleasure, just as you had on the screen, physical activity, socializing with your friends face to face, etc.
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about how it can hurt you physically. We mentioned posture. Well, that was the only one we mentioned. What about mentally? Can it hurt if you're spending too much time online or on too much screen time?
Yeah, it definitely can. So for some students, it can result in self-image issues or body image issues, because a lot of kids are comparing themselves to what they're seeing online and then looking at themselves in a negative way because of that. Additionally, it can lead to FOMO. I don't know if you've ever heard of FOMO, fear of missing out.
No? Explain.
All right. So fear of missing out is basically you're seeing other people, I guess your peers your age or your friends doing things online, going places, traveling, and you're going to parties and you're just at home in your room.
Okay.
So when you're online, it creates this expectation that you're supposed to be there too. You're supposed to be doing this, and if you're not, then it makes you feel sad. It makes you feel left out. It makes you feel anxious.
Give the parents some tips, Chad, as how they could strike a balance with, online. Because it's not only school. I mean, some of these kids are online for different reasons. So it's not only schoolwork we're talking about. So give me some tips here.
Right. So you definitely want to have an open and honest communication with them. So you don't want to, it's not recommended that you focus on, oh, and you need to reduce your screen time or go take up a book. You want to push to them that, okay, instead of spending all your day on the laptop, on the computer, let's find some more creative ways that you can have fun or so that you can research. So you want to give examples and model the behavior that you want to see of them. Yeah. So you want to be able to say, okay, we're going to, instead of being on the phone or laptop for X amount of time, we're going to go outside, we're going to play some board games, we're going to, anything that you can think of that doesn't include laptops, TVs, phones, and model the behavior so that they can see that you're a part of this and it doesn't feel like it's a punishment to be using to not be using the technology.
Should a parent be specific, as in you can be online from 10 to 12, from 2 to 4, should you be that specific or no?
It can help depending on the child. So especially if you want to create a routine, you can suggest to them that, okay, during 10 to 2, when it's your break time, you're free to use the phone, you're free to go online. If they, after school and they want to have a break, so let's say school finishes at 3 and that might have homework too, but you want to give them a break. So you can say 3 to 5, you can relax, have dinner. And so, yeah, sometimes times can help to create a routine for
You would not suggest that if you go back to school face to face, I don't want you on the computer at all for the next 2 or 3 weeks, or you wouldn't suggest that you stop them from being on the computer if they have face-to-face classes?
No, I don't recommend that, especially if it's something that comes suddenly, because the change, the adjustment would be very difficult for them. And again, it would feel like, oh, it's a bad thing to be on your phone or your computer, it's a punishment, or it's only related to pleasure. So you don't want to shock them, especially because they've been so dependent on it, by just taking it away fully. Again, before you do anything, you want to have the communication with them to explain the reason behind your action.
Thanks, Chad. Stay safe. God bless you. Good to see you.
Take care.
All right. Chad Lambert, licensed associate clinical psychologist with Caribbean Thoughts to Teens.